Hi, this is Sherri Patten, and we are at Patten Ceramics, and we're making an elephant head. I have some examples this week that I made with my students, my demos. First of all, I've got 2 pounds of clay. I've cut it in 3 pieces, 3 equal pieces. One's going to be for the head, one's going to be for the ears, one's going to be for the trunk. Here we go. So 1 piece, any piece of the 3, I'm going to take it and I'm going to roll it into a ball, into a sphere. Make sure you have really nice soft clay for this. This clay that I have is not very easily malleable, so I'm having to actually, play with it in my hands and such. If it were softer clay, it would be a lot easier to roll. So now that I have a basic shape of a sphere, I'm going to put it down and I'm going to begin the trunk. So second piece of clay, the trunk. Put this aside. I'm going to squeeze this till it's just a long, skinny piece of clay. Now I'm going to take my hand, almost like a karate chop, but I'm putting it on the side just a bit. I'm going to put all the force on this part of my hand as I roll. So I'm pushing down with this side. This part of the hand isn't even touching the clay on this side. I'm putting all the force on this part of my hand. And so as I roll, this part's going to get smaller because I'm putting only the force on that part. Okay, now I have a bigger piece of clay, so I'm going to have to use both hands on this. But again, I'm not going to put too much force on this hand at all. I'm just going to put force on this part, and it's just going to kind of help me roll it easier. So I'm putting more force again. Even though I'm putting it up here, I'm putting more force down at the bottom. So here I have my trunk. Now I'm going to put it up to the head area and see how much I'm going to be cutting off. Probably about right here. So now I'm going to take that piece of clay, I'm going to dip it in some slip, and I'm going to push it up. Now this clay is so soft I can do this. I don't have to score and slip this area. But if you have clay that's a little bit harder than mine, you're going to have to score and slip or else the trunk is going to fall off. And that's no fun. So I'm just smoothing it up. Now I look at this, I can see that this is pretty much a straight line up. I've got a bump right here. So I'm going to take this and put it on that side. I'm just going to drop it. And now it's a nice smooth bend right up there. Smooth this a little more. Put it on its head. And so now we're going to finish off the trunk. I'm going to take the trunk, I'm going to bend it up. And you'll notice the trunk is like a V split right here. So I'm going to put the trunk on its side. I'm going to put a piece of paper though so you can see a little better. I'm going to push this so it's flat. And now I'm going to cut that V shape right in it. So I just take a tool, cut a V shape, one slit and the other slit. And I've got a V shape. This part is a little bit shorter, so I'm just going to take that piece of clay off with my fingers, just cut it off with my fingers. And there we are. Turn it around, make a hole with a pencil, and voila. Okay, so now I'm going to go with the eyes. As you can see, there's an indentation right here. So I'm going to take my fingers and I'm going to push in. Notice I'm kind of going with that trunk. That indentation right here goes with the trunk. So I think of this line going up and I'm pushing down right here. So now you can see that line. And now I'm going to add the eyes. Roll a little piece of clay into a ball. Make it about 5 times smaller than you think you need. Put it there. That's still too large. Again. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a needle tool and I'm going to cut that ball in half. People always make eyes too large. And notice it ends up being this really nice almond shape. I'm going to dip that in the water. And I'm going to add it right at the beginning of that curve. You'll be able to see it better on the next one. There we go. Push it in just a little bit. Dip it in water. Put it down. Doesn't matter what side you put it down, really, because we're going to put on the eyelids. I'm going to make a little rope of clay, the smallest rope of clay I can possibly get, possibly do on my hands. If the clay keeps cracking on you, you know that the clay is not soft enough. I'm dipping it in the slip, and now I'm going to curve it over the eye like a little rainbow. Don't go all the way around the eye in a circle. It looks silly. It makes it not look realistic at all. That's not how our eyelids are. They're shaped kind of like a smile at the bottom. I'm putting that bottom eyelid on. And like a frown at the top. And for the other eye, I'm going to do that for the top eyelid and the bottom eyelid. Some people ask me if they should put it on the eye or above the eye. Well, if you made the eye a circle, then definitely put it on the eye. If you made it an oval to begin, an almond shape to begin with, then you can put it touching the eye. Remember, these are not eyebrows. These are eyelids. So they're going to at least touch the eye area. And up. And there we are. Sorry, but I have to go really fast because I did my other recording of this and it was 20 minutes. So I've got to go super fast. Okay, next step, we're going to add the tusks. Taking a piece of clay, just rolling in my hands, and now I'm going to do that technique that I just showed you, where you take your hand almost like a karate chop. You're putting all the force right here, and you're going to put just the force on that side. I'm not even touching the clay with this side, and here you have a horn. Don't worry too much about size because you can always cut it off. Here we go. Roll it again. Another horn. And I'm going to add it. So I'm looking at where to add it. From the side, look at this photo or drawing. It goes about down that far. And push it in right here. Probably will work better if I use some slip. And this is too long, so I'll just cut it off there with my hand and then add it. Now, you're going to have to take a piece of clay because as you can see, it's fatter in this area. Fatter in this area. So you have to take a piece of clay about the same size as the horn and add it where you want that horn, that tusk to start. The tusk, not the horn. Ay, ay, ay. Trying to go fast. This reminds me of my mom. She used to get those easy sewing things, and they would say 1 hour, and she'd spend the whole night on it. So don't be surprised if it takes you a heck of a lot longer. Just know that you need to practice, and things get easier and easier as you practice more. Here we go. Okay. Doesn't matter if one is longer than the other, and in real life that happens all the time. There we go. And now we're going to add the ears. What I have found is that if I just make a very large heart, that's about what the shape of them looks like. So I'm just going to really push out that clay. Push it out, but I really want to retain some of the thickness there, because if I don't, then you know what happens. They end up cracking off, and that's really frustrating. So I'm going to look at it, see how I like it. That's looking okay if I just move it a little bit. And then I'm going to make it into kind of a heart shape. I can even cut it down here, but I'm trying not to cut it too much because I really like these rounded edges. Now I'm connecting them at the back because I've had so much of a problem with them falling off. You can do it realistically and add it on the side, but most people are not going to notice if it's connected really well from the back. So I'm leaving it up to you. I do lots of scoring. Things stay on better that way. You don't want to see where the lines start and finish, or else you know that you don't have enough scoring. I'm going to put a bunch of slip. Just gob it on here. Better to have 10 times too much than a little bit too little. I'm also trying to wipe off my hands because I don't want to mess up my piece by getting that slip on it. So I'm going to wipe it off right here and put it on. That's why not to work on paper. And put it on. I'm going to smush this area more. I'm going to take a pencil and give this poor guy some pupils so he looks more lively. Push it on a little bit more. Add the lines here. I'll do it nicer later. And there we are.